House. Second motion, Senator Martin Conway. 4 minutes, Senator.
Gormargat for taking the adjournment, allowing the commencement notice to go ahead as well. I'd like to welcome Minister Nash to the House. This issue is a very simple one, really. Ballyvaughan in County Clare and Fenor and Burren is one of the most unique areas of landscape in the world, as it happens. The Burren is certainly a unique style in terms of its rock, its limestone, its mountainous terrain, its flora, its fauna, its flowers, some of which only grow in the Burren and grow nowhere else in the world. As we know, Burren Bio and the Burren Geopark projects have had enormous success. They have won international awards. They're going to win a lot more awards. That, coupled with the Cliffs Moher visitor experience and the panoramic coastline that extends right up along the coast of County Clare, but in particular from the Cliffs of Moher up as far as Ballyvaughan. That is our natural resource. That is what is creating and sustaining jobs in the northern part of County Clare. What is being proposed is a fish farm. Now, I don't know a whole pile about fish farms, but I've been talking to a lot of people who know an awful lot about fish farms, and what I hear about them I do not like. The people of North Clare, what they're hearing about fish farms, they certainly do not like. I don't think that we need this type of an investment in County Clare to create jobs. We have ample opportunity to create jobs in County Clare by promoting and investing in tourism, in promoting our natural resource. We don't need fish farms. It would be more in the line of the Department of the Marine and so on to actually properly negotiate the access to sea waters that our fishermen who do these type of things for a living in terms of fishing can access. Instead of, if you like, excuse me, instead of indirectly encouraging these type of fish farms, which ultimately will compromise the natural resource that we have. So I want to put it on the record of this House quite clearly that I'm not in favour of the fish farm, either as it's proposed or as it's going to be alternatively proposed in terms of downsizing. I think that what we have, we need to protect. We don't need to compromise. Cormac.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to thank Senator Conway for raising this issue, which I'm taking on behalf of the Minister for Agriculture, Food and the Marine. In 2012, BIM submitted an application to the Department for an aquaculture licence for the cultivation of finfish near Inishere in Galway Bay. The application and its accompanying environmental impact statement are being considered under the provisions of the 1997 Fisheries Amendment Act and the 1933 Foreshore Act, which provide for extensive consultation with stakeholders and also for a period of general public consultation. The public consultation stage of the assessment process in respect of the application is now closed, and a total of 410 valid submissions were received by the Department. BIM has estimated that just one of these production areas could generate over €100 million in exports per annum and create 350 direct jobs. A further 150 jobs will be created indirectly in the service sector, supplying fish feed, netting, transportation and other services. There's always a strict separation between the ministerial duty to promote sustainable development of the industry and the ministerial role as a decision maker in respect of aquaculture licence applications. This separation of duties is extremely serious and it is strictly observed at all times. All aspects of the Galway Bay application are currently being examined by the Department in conjunction with its scientific, engineering, technical and legal advisors. All submissions received as part of both the statutory consultation stage of the process and the general public consultation stage will form an integral part of the Department's consideration of the application. It's important to note that the legislation provides for extensive consultation with stakeholders, including Inland Fisheries Ireland, which has responsibility for wild salmon stocks. It's important for all parties to understand that as the application is under active consideration as part of the statutory process, it would not be appropriate to comment on the merits or otherwise of the application, pending the completion of the formal assessment process by the Department. The application process is governed by legislation and must not be subject to parallel discussions by the Minister or his department, which could be misconstrued in any way as indicating a predisposition by the department in respect of the application. Of course, no such predisposition exists, and the formal assessment process will take into account and evaluate all of the observations received from stakeholders and the general public in relation to the application. It must also be borne in mind that any person submitting a licence application to the department has an entitlement, in accordance with fair procedures, to have the application fully considered in accordance with legislation. It should also be noted that the legislation provides for a possible appeal of the ministerial decision to the Aquaculture Licence Appeal Board, an independent authority for the determination of appeals against decisions of the Minister. A draft National Strategic Plan for Sustainable Aquaculture Development has been published by the Department and is currently the subject of public consultation. It would not be appropriate for anyone to seek to prejudge the outcome of the consultation process or any actions, legislative or otherwise, that might follow on from that process. In the meantime, and in the normal way, applications on hand and all new applications will continue to be assessed under the provisions of the existing legislation and licence determinations made in accordance with the legislation. So senators can be assured that the public interest is well protected under the provision of the relevant legislation, and the Minister is very conscious of the importance of proceeding fully in line with statutory requirements.
Thank you, Minister. Do you have one question?
Just very quickly, of course, I'd like to thank Minister Nash for coming in here and taking this commencement item on behalf of the Minister for Agriculture. And yes, of course, one has to respect the separation of decision-making and so forth, and the appropriateness of ministerial involvement. But what I have said at the outset, and I suppose I just want to repeat, is that the Minister also has a responsibility to protect our environment, and the Minister also has a responsibility to protect our natural resource and our tourism industry, and not just a responsibility in terms of creating jobs, but a responsibility in terms of sustaining the jobs that are there. So I would appreciate if you would just bring those observations to the Minister, and we will watch the process with interest.